Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final episode of the Adrian Bo podcast for the year 2021. And what a year we're going to look back and obviously take credit and where credit's due for everyone that's done a phenomenal job in very challenging times. Hey, AB, how are you, mate?
Yeah, excellent. 121 episode, and we'll be back in the new year starting the 13th of January. So, yeah, I hope everyone gets an opportunity between now and then to go all the way back to episode 1 and school up as much as they can in terms of learning and development.
Yeah, episode number 121, really a big achievement. And again, thank you for letting me be part of it. It's actually funny you just mentioned about the learning over the Christmas break, Adrian, and I've started to put together a little bit of a list of what I want to be doing over that couple of weeks we're going to have off. And there's some really amazing podcasts out there. There's some amazing books that have been released. There's so much content. So don't overwhelm yourself. I think that would be the one recommendation to everyone that listens into this podcast. Don't overwhelm yourself. If you manage to listen for, anywhere from 15 minutes to half an hour per day, you are ahead of the vast majority of your colleagues in the industry. So keep that up, keep the great work up. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your ratings over the year. Hey, Adrian, we're going to talk a little bit today about being more. And obviously being more, you did a fantastic post. And I think you're going to repost it over the next couple of days to everyone that's part of your community and on your socials. But what do you mean by the fact if you want to do more and be more, you actually can achieve more?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people, Troy, are under this impression that, you need to work really hard in order to achieve any type of goal, which is absolutely true, but it's not mutually exclusive to actually being more as well. So we talk about doing more, being more. Doing more is usually related to long hours. Now, let's not delude ourselves that long hours are not going to be part of our careers as real estate professionals, because we do work in, what we call a domestic environment. A domestic environment means we're dealing with families. And sometimes when you're dealing with families, you need to go and see them after hours. So it's certainly not a 9-to-5 job. Let's not delude ourselves that that is the case. However, there's only 168 hours in the week. And there's only so many waking hours. So, if you're at a certain capacity or a certain bandwidth and earning a certain amount of income or generating a certain amount of sales, and you think to yourself, how the hell am I actually going to increase my volume or increase my income, given that I'm actually working as hard as I possibly can? Well, the answer is to get more efficient and to be more and create more leverage, scale, and process. So let's talk about being more. Being more basically is a little bit about the law of reciprocity. So if we talk about being more to every single person that you come in contact with, not just in your real estate professional life, but also your personal life. So I often talk about the dichotomy, and it's a bit of a use of alliteration when I say, well, you got to act the same way you would to a barista as you would a barrister, and the same way that you would for a multi-million-dollar potential seller and a tenant in a property, because you can't be rude to one and hyper focused on the other, because that's not being authentic, number one. Number two, it really doesn't display your true skill set, which is having that adding value approach and also being your offline and online personalities matching, So, if you're at an open house, calling people, I still do after 33 years in the industries, sir and madam. I pulled up one of my team members the other day. He was sort of talking to a young couple, and he said, "I'll see you guys." And I was like, no, we don't use that language. It's like, sure, you may not have to call them sir or madam if they're a younger, but thank you so much for coming through. Really look forward to to following up next week. You know, like guys is not a great terminology. So, you know, and it become habitual, you know, so being more also might mean something around, you know, how you're actually, you know, working with certain clients around what type of questions you're asking, Troy. So, for example, whether it's at a buyer appointment, whether it's at a listing appointment, whether it's at a open for inspection, whatever it might be, you know, ask people's names, remember it, and repeat it. You know, like there's nothing like being in a meeting or talking to someone. It's like, Troy, yeah, and acknowledging them. I mean, little things like that. And it's a bit cliche to say, well, people remember how you make them feel rather than what you said, but it is true. And repeating people's names and looking them in the eye is just an absolute bare minimum. It also might mean, you know, asking a little bit about their career. You know, what do they actually do? I'm blown away when I speak to agents and they call me, some of my client agents, and they say, I'm going to this listing appointment. I just want to know, you know, should I say this, that, and the other? And I say, okay, let's start with what do they do as a profession? And they're like, I'm not sure. And I'm like, how many actual qualified listing appointments do you go to per week? Maybe 2 or 3. You know, they do a few market appraisals, but actual listing. I said, how hard is it to find out what sort of work they're involved in just by going on LinkedIn or whatever it might be? That is it the silver bullet? Is it the magic dust? No. Will it help you build rapport and find out a little bit about them? Because let me tell you, they're doing it to you. They're digitally interviewing you. So it's crazy that you're not actually finding out a bit more information about them. It might be asking them, you know, what sort of tertiary education did they do? Are they still involved in that? What are their hobbies? So taking a genuine and authentic interest is being more as well as doing more.
Well, I always think, Adrian, back to that quote, the famous quote by Dale Carnegie, and it is, to be interesting, you must genuinely be interested. And I know that that's where a lot of your business over the years has come. It's very easy in the real estate space, in a competitive market, which all our listeners are working in. There's multiple parties that are all vying for the same business. 2021, we've seen not a lot of stock hit the market, and so the stock and the listing potential has been very tight. And, you know, without diluting our fees, it's really come back to how interesting are you as an individual? How much of a memory maker are you? Or are you just another face in the crowd that's trying to sell the same product or service? So I always think about, what impression can you leave on a person that will change their view or make a memory for them? So how do you make them feel on the way out? And I know, Adrian, when we were doing a lot of face-to-face sessions together, that was our main objective. Not only to make sure that people implemented the content that we were sharing from the years of knowledge that we had obviously developed ourselves, but also had access to with the amazing businesses we work with. It was also to have them create a belief in their own mind that they could create a really great future for themselves in the sales side of the business. It's interesting also, Adrian, when you talk about doing more, being more, having more, they work very closely together. And you mentioned another famous person, Dr. Robert Cialdini's law of reciprocity. And, you know, you look at the laws that he has, and he's spoken it many times. And for those that haven't had a chance to listen to Dr. Robert Cialdini talk about the laws of attraction and everything that he talks about, the side of the business that he talks about in regards to those laws, I would really start thinking, how can I develop them into a system that I can maybe have 2 or 3 of those laws, the power of influence, and really start to implement them into my business. So the first one, Adrian, that you always mentioned is their reciprocity. Give without the expectation of receiving. So give information, give value, give service, even without the expectation of receiving. And, you know, you think about that in many times that people do callbacks from open for inspections, and agents normally say, are you interested? No. Well, I've got something else. Give me your name and number. and I'll put you on my database. It's actually the wrong strategy. And I think that you frame it perfectly when you talk about Mr. and Mrs. Jones. I know that this one may not be for you, but I would love to provide you with some really incredible market insights from time to time, and any listings that may come up that meet your criteria. And remember, from the previous episodes we've done on this, guys, it's about digging deeper and finding out their real needs as opposed to just their configuration. So law of reciprocity. The similarity side of things, people follow the similar people. So when you think about the way that people work, the way that people act, the way that people live, if you've got similar interests, then people are more inclined to listen to you and respect your opinion. The other one, Adrian, that I always like is likability. And so if you're likable, people will definitely have that influence with you. So how do you become likable? Well, the easiest thing to do is just focus on smiling, focus on being a good person, do the right thing for people, follow up, follow through, and follow back. Those three key areas. And then, Adrian, the ones that we always come to know and expect, we've mentioned three straight away, and we can mention some of the other ones, but social proof. Do have the runs on the board. Make sure you're out there and consistently doing what you're doing. That's another one, actually, consistency. And then the final one that we talk about always, Adrian, is the authority side of things. And you can be an authority in your market. This is what I always say to young people in the real estate space. You can be an authority in your market within a year of being in your market. You can be an authority in your market after 10 years as well. Now, what does an authority mean? Well, it's really understanding all the key metrics and what's happening in your community, and then putting that in a way that your clients can understand. So, I mean, we've spoken about the power of influence and the laws of influence from Robert Cialdini. I always try and tick three of those boxes when I need to make a presentation, when I'm in a key meeting, day-to-day life as well. I think some of those are very easy to adhere to. And I know, Adrian, that's something that you're very focused on as well. And a lot of the training we did do back in the day. And hey, guys, here's a snapshot. Here's a little insight. We're going to be doing a lot more face-to-face in the new year. So there's a little bit of a sneak peek. Adrian and I have been discussing this, and keep an eye out. 2022, when we're allowed to travel, we are going to be traveling. So we will be giving you updates in the new year about those travel dates. And you'll get not only to see us online, video, audio, but you will also get to see us face to face, coming to a town and state near you soon. So AB, I think that's, in summary, I think we've covered off a lot of content here today. This year's been phenomenal. And I want to thank you not only from a personal level, being a great friend and a mentor of mine over the many, many years, but also for the way that you've conducted yourself throughout the challenging times, and really been a beacon of light for the industry, and making sure that, the people and the clients that you're working with, they've got access to you 24/7. And you can kind of see that not only on your social channels, but even the results of some of those clients. It's really remarkable that they've increased market share and they've increased their GCI over what we would say is probably, looking back, one of the most challenging times we've had over the past 10 years. So congratulations, AB. Congratulations on this podcast as well. I think, we made the top 10 business podcasts last week on Spotify. We're getting record numbers coming through. It's been a great year. It's been one year that we'll always remember. I think, next year we have some really exciting things as well that are going to be coming out to this group and also the rest of the industry. So we're very excited about that. But AB, I'm going to hand over to you for your final thoughts of 2021, being the last episode of 2021, episode 121. I don't know, there's some type of the kind of attraction there. Over to you, mate, to wrap up this episode, and we'll see everyone in early 2022.
Yeah, no, thanks for your kind words, Troy. And really, we can't do this really without a support base and without the followers. And our goal will never change, and our mandate will never change, which is to provide content that's implementable into your business the same day. We're not here to motivate you. If we motivate you, that's a great byproduct and a great side effect, and we would be very pleased if that does occur. However, our main objective is to provide practical, implementable strategies, tips, dialogues, hacks, processes that can actually help you list and sell more real estate. Because let's face it, coaching is not about high-level motivational frequency. It's about what can we do and say, and what processes we can provide you that will help you list and sell more real estate. That's all it comes down to. And do it with high integrity with all your clients, and also do it while you're being on purpose. So I often talk about on purpose, in rhythm, and with energy, you know. So that needs to be the theme between now and the next time we meet for you. I really hope that you all have a fantastic and well-earned break over the next few weeks, and definitely use the time to recover, to learn, to read, to meditate, to journal, to walk, to breathe, whatever it is, and also work on your business as opposed to in your business, because next year the year will start extremely quickly in terms of buyer and seller inquiry. So I think if you're planning to come back that second week of January, that I think is the ideal time, because that's when I feel that this activity will start to really pick up and commence. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this year. We've certainly enjoyed coming at you on a weekly basis. That won't stop. Plus, as Troy said, there's going to be more things in the pipeline around presentation events, keynote, actual speaking engagements, and also more online modules and activities, which we're really looking forward to. So, Troy, yeah, it's been a great year, and signing off. And thank you so much, listeners, for all your support. And Troy, thank you for your friendship and the incredible professionalism and high value content that you deliver on a weekly basis.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the remainder of 2021, last big weekend of auctions as well. And we can't wait to see you again next year.
Thank you.